I'll tell you.
Hey, how goes it? Oh, God.
That good?
First broadcast words.
I think we're recording.
Oh, God, and welcome to the HCC.
Good call, good recovery, Ray. We should open our remarks with an, oh, God.
I try not to invoke the
Swift,
name of the Creator.
swift and just, how's that?
Let's see.
Swift, just, and even. All right, I'm ready when you are. I'm as ready as I'll ever be. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to this edition of the Nantucket Historic District Commission. Excuse me, it's September 30th at 4:03 p.m. This meeting is being audio-video recorded. Anything you say or share will be shown on the town's YouTube site. Please act accordingly. Let's see, the HDC takes comments from the public at hdcpubliccomment@nantucket-ma.gov. Comments are due by 8 a.m. the Monday prior to the respective meeting if you're speaking on a particular topic. Let's see, Carrie's not with us. Is Joe online?
Joe is not online and Carrie is not with us.
Okay, so we're all, those here will be voting, regular members, and Connie will maybe alternate in on. Do we have a motion to approve the agenda? I see
So
that.
moved.
Thank you, Val Oliver. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously. We have a commissioner discussion and vote item, which is the revised HSC meeting schedule for October 21st, 25 through January 27th, 26. The amendment is due to special town meeting falling on Tuesday, November 4th. Thank you, Select Board, for the save on that day.
Oh, yeah.
Do we have any discussion on the topic? If not, do we have a motion to approve as submitted by staff?
Approve as presented by staff.
Excellent, thanks. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Carries unanimously. This is that portion of the meeting where Commissioner Q&A with Preservation Planner Holly Backus on the items that have highlighting 21 Woodbury, 28 Pine Street, 12 Angola, and 8 North Mill Street. Is there anyone who has questions for Holly?
Mr. Chair, through.
Oh, and six, yeah, go ahead.
You forgot consent, so maybe,
Yeah, I'll go back.
okay.
Thank you for the reminder, though. I just realized there was another highlighted 16 Walsh, and that is under consents. Questions for Holly? Okay.
I had a question,
Yeah.
and that is about the portico in Woodbury, 21 Woodbury Lane, number 2. So it included sort of a portico sketch, but was there anything specific in that recommendation of like the entablature or that you wanted to elaborate on?
Through you, Mr. Chair, thank you. So the sketch that I provided is from the Field Guide to American Houses, which is a staple for any of us in the preservation world. And it's a very common portico that would be for this type of vernacular. This one is more flat versus more of the pitched one, I think that's being proposed. So that's where my comments really came from.
Okay.
And I think the dimensions of the entablature are very traditional. And so maybe that's something to look at with your review.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anything else, Angus?
No, that's all. Thanks.
Okay. Why don't we, does anyone else have questions on that? Anything? Holly, do you have anything CLG related you'd like to share or otherwise?
I sent out an APC free training today that we received. I highly encourage all commissioners for both commissions to take that offer up. And remember, all of NAPC's training that we received as we're members, 1, you'll get a coupon. If you don't see a coupon, reach out to me and I'll get it for you. And 2, if you register and can't attend for whatever reason, you'll always get the PDF and a copy of the meeting so you can watch it at your leisure. As well as for those members who may be AICP or AIA, who need those continuing education credits, you can also get those as well. As well as if you do take upon any of these trainings, or if there's a training that I'm not aware of, you want to share it to the rest of the group, please feel free to let me know. But I would also like to to know whatever you take as a continuing education credit, so that way I can keep track of it and let the Massachusetts Historical Commission know when I do that yearly report. So that's it. Thank you.
Thanks, Holly. Holly, is there a minimum requirement for CLG members?
There isn't anything set in stone. It is highly encouraged. The CLG requirements really don't dictate that. However, I will mention that if the state does training, which they did last year, I think last fall, they sent out a webinar, that they'll highly encourage you all to attend. But there really isn't a set you have to, it's just highly encouraged, as well as NAPC encouraged everybody as well. So,
Thank you. I think it would be an interesting discussion if all department heads had to take at least one course that the preservation planner picked. Just saying. Okay, can we go back to consent? Is there a motion? Poking the bear, I guess.
I'll make the motion to approve consent agenda.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Oh, well, one holder on the Q&A. Who do I speak to about getting a printout of them of the comments for the meeting? We were doing that for a while and it seemed to taper off. Would that be
me.
Holly? Thank you, Holly.
I would, I guess if anybody can let me know how many to print out, then I'll make sure that's done.
I was going to have one and share with Val at
Okay.
the table.
I
Sounds
have
good?
them on my computer.
I know, but you had a problem. I'll have a little stack right here if you want to ever refresh your memory. And it's helpful for me just because with so many things going on facilitating the meeting, it's a lot easier to refer back in real time. Very much appreciated, all you do. Thank you, Holly. Okay, we are now on to, unless I need bifocals again, carry over a commissioner's request from 9/23 meeting, 14 to Timo, shed color change, and 14 to Timo, outbuilding color change.
Mr. Chair, Matt McEachern is not online.
Okay, we'll give him until 4:35. Just to announce, what we're doing is setting a time if someone isn't present, so that it doesn't become a, oh, I'll get there when I get there type of a thing. I don't want to encourage that. We're running a ship-shape ship. Let's keep it that way, right?
Yeah.
Old business, 9:30, 31 Schimmel Pond Road, deer fence, the joy of the HDC. Do we have Caitlin here? Hi, Caitlin, how are you? So your board is myself, Ray, Commissioner Pohl, Commissioner Camp, Commissioner Oliver, Commissioner McLeod, and no alternates. Carrie's not here. Good evening. You want to walk us through the site plan? We'll go from there?
Sure, I can start with the changes from the original
That's
application.
perfect, thank you.
For starters, the gate is going to be different. At first, we presented deer grates at the driveway. Instead, we're going to be doing a gate that's set 60 feet back, and it's made of cedar. It will be 18 feet wide and 8 feet tall. There's some images of it.
Yep.
Scroll down. Additionally, we will be setting the fence back further. I know that was a concern. Now it will be in the backyard. More vegetation will be added, and it is more hidden by the brush. The gates have also changed. The orange dots indicate the gates. The gates are more in line with like typical Nantucket gates. So those are the changes.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner questions before we get comments?
I have one.
Val?
The gate, the main gate,
Yep.
8 feet tall, is that that's the posts, not the
Yes,
gate,
that's
right?
correct. Yep.
Okay. I have to specify that because sometimes we run into snags like, whoa. Yeah, I went out there today and I think this will work just great with the
Okay.
vegetation that's there. It's farther in and you won't see anything. I'm not sure about the little gates, but they're 25 feet back, so.
Okay, thank you. Does anyone have any concerns?
You know, not
Right.
necessarily. The only thing that I am wondering about is the site plan. I see this thing that says 25 feet away from the road, but it, in certain places, certainly doesn't appear to be 25 feet from the road as drawn. And we're talking about like the actual edge of the road as opposed to the road easement, right?
And where the fence is,
Correct.
it's going to be on the property, so past the,
Understand that it's gonna be on the property, but I guess the question is how far onto the property? Like,
oh,
for
I
those
see.
of you that aren't viewing on this, so the top document, right? See, the blue is the property line. The
Right.
blue polygon is the property line. And you'll see that at that one corner, just to take an example, the blue property line corner literally abuts the road itself, not the road easement, the road itself. So what are we 25 feet from?
I'm sorry, yeah, the road, 25 feet.
The
from
road itself.
The edge of the road, I'm not sure the proper term for it, but the edge of the road, on the side
The
closest.
actual used portion of the road as opposed to the
The edge of
easement.
the road, the easement. The
Okay,
diagram,
to put it a different way, you're saying that it will be 25 feet in on all sides of the polygon, 25 feet in from the property line.
yes,
would that
based
be a
on
fair
that
way to
picture,
say
that would
it?
be fair, yes.
And if that's the case, then yes, I'm fine with this.
Oh,
And I'm sorry to belabor it, but
No.
you know, road easement versus road, traveled road, all that stuff can get a little bit fuzzy. So 25 feet in from the property line puts it squarely into the vegetation, so I, for one, I'm fine.
Okay, I have
there's
a
that.
question. Thank you, Ray. That means, from what I gather, that as opposed to what's shown in the drawing, because it's not 25 feet in, and in the images,
Right.
that the fence will be relocated in many locations, correct?
Yes, so the red image that was the first original diagram, I just included that. Maybe it's not the most accurate based on that drawing, but the pictures of where the white post is, there's a few pictures further down in the application. Where the white posts are in the application is an indication of where the fence is actually going.
Okay, Fiona, can you zoom in on the site plan that has the blue property bound, or the blue fence boundary? Yeah, you can double up that size. Okay, so the concern I have is that, in particular, is this middle valley way. And also not showing a gate adjacent. Okay, the large gate will be set back, but, so Keelan, what's gonna happen with the fence leg here
Yeah,
and here, and then the connector pieces to the gate? Because this doesn't look like it's 25 feet back from the property line.
right. Yeah, I apologize for that. I do have a updated property drawing, but the fence will connect to the gate, so it'll taper in a little bit to connect to the edges of the 8-foot posts.
Okay, so I'm, just to be clear, fine with this as long as we do an Exhibit A indicating the distance from the road to the fence is 25 feet, or from the property line to the fence is 25 feet.
Can I just, I'm really sorry to belabor this, but I think that, this board occasionally will approve something and like the documentation will be inconsistent and one person will think one thing and another person will think something else. So like, for example, this red dot is supposed to be 60 feet back from there. If that's correct, then that means that and I worked on this house, by the way, years ago. That means that this gable is 120 feet wide, which it's clearly not. So the scale of 60 feet is probably gonna put it back, way back here somewhere.
Right. I think what we need to do is do an Exhibit A of what we approve. So I think we should have a brief discussion as to how this plan that's been presented would be modified and draw a few lines and be done with it. That's what I would like to please do. Val?
I do think it's a good point, though, because the road and the property line are two different things, and the property line could be pushed way in as opposed to the road, so it is good for us to get it exactly right.
Right.
Mr. Chair, someone has their hand up.
Do they have a name?
Abigail Reardon.
The homeowner.
Oh,
Okay. Go ahead, please.
Oh, thanks for hearing me. I hope you can. Can you hear me?
Yep, you
Yep.
can. Go ahead,
Oh,
Abigail.
okay, great. Around the red dot and all the way to the west and then curving in to the south is brush, and it's going to stay that way. So I don't have any problem with the fence going and intend to have the fence go through that brush and meet up with the gate. If your concern is that I'm going to have the fence going all too close to Middle Valley on the south side.
Thanks, Abigail. So our concern is based upon our experience, and our experience is that unless there's a clear drawing indicating with dimensions from various locations what to expect, sometimes things get lost in the shuffle, and when the inspection occurs, things aren't what we anticipated or voted on, and a lot of extra work ensues, and it's difficult for no reason. So as opposed to kind of belaboring discussion, I believe we are in agreement, and I'll poll the board, that the fence will be 25 feet in from the property line. It will connect to a gate that's 60 feet in on the driveway, that the drawing shown does not necessarily reflect that, but that is what will happen in the field. And that is what will be in the field at time of inspection. And then we put this discussion that's taking terribly long time, and we have other business to do on things that aren't in as-built condition. So I'd like to move forward with this unless someone has a concern with that approach, please.
I could make a motion to approve part one of your last statement. We'll strike the whole second half.
About the let's get it going thing?
Yeah, that.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Could I second it for, just
Well,
for?
I haven't
Go-
spoken
go-
either. Yeah,
You
let's-
you
Go ahead.
Well, I just wanted to say that if we make a motion, could we say that the vegetation is kept in perpetuity because
I don't
because the
mind
forests are
appending
going to
that to my
change and so
motion.
forth?
Yep, yep.
I have every intention of keeping it in perpetuity. In fact, I'm going to rip up some grass because of the drought and put in more shrub and beach grass.
Thanks, Abigail. Angus?
I was just going to say, while there is a fair amount of vegetation along sorry, not Hummock Pond, Shimo Pond Road, at the corner of Shimo Pond and Middle Valley, it really starts to thin out so that there's a fairly clear view of the yard. So, while there are some trees and maybe some vegetation that might grow during the season, there's a pretty clear view through there. So I would be looking for supplemental vegetation along with what Ray has clarified about the 25-foot setback from the line and 60 feet from the property line for the gate. My only other concern is at the gate that we wouldn't want to be looking at the 8-foot high fence going along the driveway till it gets to the gate. So that would want to be set back from the driveway so there's room for vegetation. Not necessarily 25 feet, but enough room for vegetation so that that's not visible going along the driveway, getting from the 25 to the 60 feet.
Okay, can I see if I can fashion that into like an actual fence minimum 25 feet from adjacent property line, post not visible at time of inspection or thereafter, mesh minimum 60% screened at time of inspection or thereafter, driveway gate 60 feet from the property line. Anything else?
Oh, in the perpetuity.
I got that.
And that So from the property line, we're 25 feet back to the perimeter, 8-foot fence, but we're 60 feet to the gate. So we don't want to be seen from, for
Yeah.
35 feet, the 8-foot fence along the drive.
I'm going to repeat this. Posts not visible at time of inspection or thereafter. Mesh minimum 60% screened at time of inspection and thereafter. That doesn't stipulate any location other than visible from the street.
Okay,
Okay? Does
Yep.
that work for you?
sounds good.
Okay. Ray, is that your
It's
motion?
my revised motion.
Okay, on the motion, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that carries. You guys have an approval. What will happen is we'll write it on the COA, and then the work can be done once that gets picked up and processed. We are now moving on to 21 Woodbury Lane. Is Ben with us?
He is Mr. Chair.
Good afternoon, Ben.
Hello, everybody.
You didn't want us each to say hello back, did you?
I just didn't want to talk over anybody. You ready for
Just
me?
check. No, you're good. Go ahead, Ben.
So it's been a little bit since we looked at this, but this is Woodbury Lane, house built in the mid '90s, probably. We're proposing quite a facelift to it. And last time we met, we had been showing a gable formed front kind of door feature and some window above that was kind of truncated to fit it. Now we're proposing more traditional front, what do I call it? The portico and a traditional size window above it. So hopefully that's a little bit more in keeping with what you're trying to do, or what you guys would be looking for. Additionally, we also are looking to paint the roof walk white. It's currently natural to weather, and probably one of the only natural to weather roof walks in the Woodbury neighborhood. They are all essentially painted white. So aside from that, around the east elevation, there's we had proposed these unusually long windows in the kitchen, which we are not going to do. Now they're just to match the existing size windows, and a very slight move of another window on the east elevation. And then changes on the back. Nothing has really changed there other than what we proposed earlier, but it's really not visible from a public way, so hopefully not of much concern to you.
Okay, great. Let's see, is Mickey here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, Mickey, you're up.
Thank you. So this is Mickey Rowland. I'm representing the Historic Structures Advisory Group, which is myself, Jason Finger, Mary Bergman, and Marcia Fader. And we think this is an improvement over the last submission. The only small concern is that the proportions of the entire portico feel a little squat or short, and maybe if the legs of the columns could be lengthened a little bit, it would raise the entablature up and create a little bit more vertical proportion for the whole feature. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, does anyone have any questions for Ben? Can we get any concerns?
Yep.
Val?
I think the side door with the side lights is inappropriate. And I'm questioning the copper roof on the portico. Does it need to have the copper roof? But I think it's hugely improved all the way around. Oh, and I don't mind the roof walk going to white, but can the skirt stay natural to weather because the roof is wood? That's my comments.
Thanks, Val. Does anyone have anything to add to those?
Sure. So I agree about the inappropriateness of the west-facing back door with the side lights and surround, but it is really tucked in behind the structure, and I don't believe that it's going to be visible. The portico, the proportions, I agree with Mickey, and that might be because maybe the columns are wider than they could be. It might make it feel more vertical if those are a little bit more slender. And the entablature just, it feels heavy, like proportionally too high for too much of it. And so I think that needs to be adjusted. So it's narrowing the columns and narrowing the entablature. And that is all. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see, Abby, do you have anything to add?
No, but I do agree that the whole portico seems a little grand. And I think scaling back the entablature, making those columns maybe a little bit 6 inches higher or something, or a little bit higher, would be a little, it wouldn't seem so stout. And I agree with, the side lights on the west, no side lights on that side door, and Val's idea of the apron going to natural to weather. Thank you.
Thank you. Ray,
I'm not on it.
you're not on it.
I'm not.
It's myself, Abby, Val, Angus, and Connie.
I have nothing to add.
I have nothing to add either. Do we have a motion to hold for some revisions? Then we're gonna need a big change for the finale. You're at your third time on this next one.
Can't wait to pass it.
Motion to hold for minor revisions.
Okay. Motion to hold for minor revisions. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. 28 Pine Street. Matt, you're here. Can we go through 14 to Timo?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Sorry, I missed it. Didn't realize I was number one, even though it was on the agenda.
It's all right. You're here now and you made your 4:35 deadline. We're basically giving people a half an hour if they missed their.
Yeah.
You're free to begin.
Spoke with the clients, and I think there was hesitation about the white trim Terratone sash and Main Street yellow doors, so they've agreed to go white trim, white sash with the Main Street yellow doors.
Smashing. Does anyone have any concerns? Val does.
Because the doors are so weird. Can they bring that up? Oh, is it?
Anyone else?
Can we bring up the elevation that has the doors? Could I ask a question?
Certainly.
Are you referring to those, the double doors on the? Oh, so the-
Yes, those all
those would
face the
be-
water, so they're really not visible from the
I'm just
road,
trying
if you
to
will.
see the impact of the yellow doors. So it would be those, and the French doors would be yellow?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what. that was
And
the
Matt, which are
purpose.
visible from the street?
Those are not.
Oh,
So, and are they a daffodil yellow or are they something else?
It's a Main Street yellow, according
Okay,
to the
even better.
HTC approved.
There you go. It's HTC approved versus by Mother Nature.
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone have any concerns other than Val?
Yeah, I wasn't as much concerned about the door color as as the trim and just these structures, their proximity to each other. I thought that the natural trim or gray trim or something that would sort of blend in with all the other material would de-emphasize this sort of awkward proximity that these two buildings are to each other.
Okay,
Might
thank
be
you. Let's see, who else is on it, Ray?
No. Again, no. I'm sorry.
I just really want you to be on it.
Who's asking?
I promise I'll be on the
But not
one
that I don't
after
want Connie on
next.
it. Connie?
I actually don't have any concerns.
Okay, do you want to make a motion?
A motion to approve as submitted.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
As revised.
Aye.
Okay, so for the record, two opposed, Angus and Dale.
Thank you very
Okay,
much.
and then that was for both the buildings?
Yes,
Connie,
correct.
Connie?
Yes, correct.
Okay, so that was for number one and number two, shed color change, outbuildings color change. Okay. Would that matter, these are all very important matters, don't get me wrong.
Sure.
Would that matter settled? We're on to 28 Pine Street. Now,
Before we look at this,
yep.
there was no existing facade drawings and no photos. I
Right.
did try to get over there today and the street's blocked off, so I'm comparing it to the previous, which is great. I just struggling with that. That's my comment.
Struggling with having
Being
complete
incomplete.
information, yeah.
We can, and I'm not saying this, I'm truly offering this, we can hold it, and I can provide those, not only the existing condition versus the most recent HDC approval, plus photos. I'm happy to do that.
Thank you.
That'd be
Yeah, 'cause I think it
great.
does help.
And Val, you feel that is warranted? I just want to make sure I understand.
Well,
Or if you were making
personally,
it-
I didn't have a problem with this design, but it seemed like a lot of people did, so I thought that would be good information to have before we.
We're happy to do that. We have
Bless
time.
you.
Guys, thank you. I just wanted clarity from Val whether she felt it was something that she needed or she felt the board needed. Matt, you want to hold it over?
Yeah, I would do that, just
Okay.
so everyone can kind of see it. and-
So we're just gonna let you, we don't need a motion hold for more information, do we?
No, but for which meeting? The old business? Or
Yeah,
Yeah,
For the
yeah.
14th?
yep.
okay, so that'll be on then.
I'll leave it
We're gonna move to 47 Quidnet.
Thank you very much.
And Matt just wanted to get the hell out of there.
Nice day.
I don't blame him.
Mr. Chair, Amy Gunnerman is online and she will be screen sharing.
Okay, great. Hello, Amy, good evening.
Hello, good afternoon. I will be sharing the updates to 47 Quidnet on the main house on behalf of Bob Palladino, who's not able to be here today, and the Burbage family. Let me share my screen here. So this project was previously approved in 2017, and the approval was updated last December in 2024. We were last heard on September 9th, 3 weeks ago, and have revised according to your comments. So what I'd like to do is just go across the elevations and quickly update you there. We are working with some existing window sizes on this house. So the B window is the existing window and has sort of set the fenestration language accordingly. We have adjusted the overall fenestration to kind of tighten the number of window types that we have with that B window as our base. We've adjusted the 2 A windows on the front facing gable. And we have also dropped the header on the dormer so that it sits below a foot below the ridge line in accordance with the previously approved iteration. On the side of the house, again, you're seeing the B windows picking up on that existing window size. And you'll see as we wrap around the back that we have added a single panel below all of the doors, French doors on the back of the house. The A window repeats itself on the side of the bump out on the back here, and also as we wrap around to the back of the house along this bump out and along the rear elevation. A large part of the discussion during the last meeting was the sort of forehead on these side dormers on this rear addition. And we are working with a bit of a challenging existing condition in that the eave and the wall plate there are kind of right where we need our window heads to be. So we do feel like that dormer is necessary. These dormers are not visible from the road, but we have tried to work with it a little bit and drop the dormer as much as we can to eliminate that forehead above the crown on the window casing. We have 5 inches there between the top of the windows and the dormer trim, so 1 shingle course. And then again, I just want to show you that we've added panels at these doors here, and I think that captures mostly everything. I will note here that we have a single window in this dormer, which is not in conformance with the glass to wall ratio per the HDC guidelines, but we are seeking relief on that. It is not visible from a public way and is helping us with our floor plan. I think that's everything.
Thanks, Amy. Okay, your board is myself, Ray, Abby, Val, and Angus, and Connie and Joe are alternates. Well, Carrie is too, but Connie and Joe aren't here. Who would like to begin with concerns?
I'll go.
Val,
I don't have any concerns.
thank you for that. Ray,
Can I tell just a little story?
you may.
All right. So I was walking down the street several years ago and by the house, and Ken Bogrand, who I'm sure most of you know, approached me and said, "Ray, how could you have approved 6/6 windows on a cottage Victorian?" And I felt really humbled by that whole thing. Well, you know, this more or less is a cottage Victorian, and they're going from 6/6 to 2/2. So, you know, God rest Ken Bogrand's soul. I'm going to say that I'm fine with this just because of him.
There you go. I'm going to take a moment from the board. I see Sarah has her hand up. Sarah Elder. No, what's going? Oh, she's being transferred in.
How about now?
Oh, we can hear you.
Now?
Yeah?
Okay. So I represent the immediate abutter at 45 Quidnet, and he had written a letter in, and I would just ask that his concerns about the height and making sure that the height is tied to some sort of definable datum be taken into account. It's very hard to ascertain from the plans what the relative height of these structures are and what the impact is going to be of these additions, both this and I think the guest house that you're taking up next.
Thanks, Sarah.
Thank
Amy,
you.
I'm
may
happy to
have-
respond.
Hold on, Amy, hold on. I got a question. Thank you. My understanding was that the primary ridge wasn't changing. Is that not the case?
That is correct.
Okay, and then the additions will be per scale.
Correct. All
Okay,
additions
so-
are lower than the existing ridge height.
Yeah, okay, so that kind of that ridge establishes the height, and then everything works off it on a scaled basis.
Yeah.
For inspection purposes. Okay, I just wanted to double check that because I thought I might have been confused. Okay, anyone, Val, you spoke, Ray, you spoke, Abby?
So just double checking, the height of this is almost 30 feet, the highest point?
That is correct, 30'1".
Okay, so yeah, that is tall. And my only thought that, since it was mentioned it's a Victorian, I was wondering about the white because of those heavy eaves and detail, whether that couldn't be a gray or a green or something a little bit more in keeping with this style. Thank you.
Thank you. Angus?
So another thing that's existing in addition to the ridge, I just wanted to clarify, is that the floor is about more than 3 feet above grade at this point. That's existing and not changing.
Correct. We are dealing with a couple of interior levels here, I think, which can be a little bit, you can kind of read in the the fenestration on the front of the house, where there are 2 interior first floor levels.
Thank you for that. And I agree with Abby about the color, that it would be nicer to go with some sort of darker color, something other than white, for this style. Thank you.
Thanks. Does that leave me? I think so.
I believe it does.
I'm good with it as proposed. I appreciate the changes. I note that the existing color is white, and that's all I got to say.
I'm going to hazard a motion to approve as submitted.
Okay, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Nay.
For the record, Abby?
Abby.
Angus?
No, I'll go with it. I prefer a darker color, but it's not me.
No, I understand. Not to, okay, so for the record, Abby Camp opposed. We are now on to the guest house.
Great. So again, previously approved in 2017, renewed in 2024 and presented again 3 weeks ago on September 9th. We are looking to expand this garage from a single car garage to a 2-car garage. And in doing so, had in the previous iteration 3 weeks ago, raised the height considerably to accommodate some tall vehicles, and also shifted the roof pitches. What I want to point out is that we have returned the structure to the previously approved pitches. I think that there were some concerns that we were masking the height, and so we've kind of gone back to the previously approved on that. We have a 10/12 pitch on the main roof, and then the broken back here is 4.5/12. We also adjusted the windows slightly. There were previously 6 light casements in this front dormer and around the building. We have moved those to be 4 light casements in keeping with the 4 light casements on the main house, again, trying to streamline the fenestration language. And I'll just reiterate that the height is up 7 inches from previously approved. The last time we presented this, we were up 18 inches. So we have really tried to mitigate the increase in the height on the building.
Thanks, Amy. Would like to begin.
I'll go.
Val?
It's 22 foot plus or
8.
minus,
Yeah, 20 foot 8.
plus or minus inches, which is really not tall. I don't have any concerns. I think it's okay.
Thank you. Does anyone have any concerns?
No.
Yeah, so I'm
Abby?
just going to be opposed because of the color, because I think it's just overwhelming. Nothing to do with the architecture. Thank
Okay,
you.
thank you. Angus, any?
Sure. Yeah. So the earlier iteration of this was simpler with the symmetry and not being as wide. I appreciate the lowering of the roof pitches to make this bring it back down. My biggest concern with this is that from the driveway, what you're looking at are garage doors, and it's almost obstructing the view of the front door from the driveway entry. So my biggest issue really here is the siding of this more than the architecture itself.
Okay, thanks, Angus. Any comments from anyone? I understand the comment about the garage doors, but I'm just, given that's distance from the street, don't have that, I don't share the concern. And otherwise, I do appreciate the modifications and I'm okay with it. I'm not thrilled with the pent roof over the garage. That pitch is atypical, but it's so far from the street. It's not like it's on Old South Road, 15 feet from the bike path, and you can see it every day when you drive by it. I'm not referring to any particular structure when I make that comment.
I do have a question
Now
though.
I have to know which, not
Val.
particular structure.
What color are the garage doors? It would be preferable for those to be natural to weather or something darker, not white.
They're white.
Good idea.
They are planned to be white. But we can, a wrong answer, but we can certainly take a look at it.
Bill, why don't you just decide what you think is an appropriate color, since we're the authority having jurisdiction.
Did you say Nantucket gray?
Gray.
Right. Oh,
Or
all right.
natural to weather.
I am going to make a motion or try to approve as submitted with the garage doors being natural to weather. And if they want to come back with a color, they can just come back.
Get it approved through the vice chair or the chair on consent.
Yeah.
Okay. On Val's motion, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That carries.
I will oppose.
For the record, Abby is a no. And we are now on to 35
Thank
Meadowview
you.
Drive.
And guess what?
Thanks, Amy.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah?
I'm not on any of the rest
Well,
of them.
actually, you are.
I'm
Nancy.
not.
That's
I
a boo-boo
looked
on
at the
my part.
minutes.
Oh, that's a boo-boo.
Mr.
Okay.
Chair, Jillian Paresh is on for 35-minute view. Do you want to screen share, Jillian?
Yes, I also have Trev, who I think is under my name as well. Um,
Yeah, Jillian, I
Should be here.
promoted both of you to panelists, so he should be
Okay.
here.
Excellent. Let me share my screen.
There we go. Here I am. Hi, everyone. So we are back to review the changes we are proposing on the main house based on your feedback in the first presentation. One of the things, by the way, that we did from the last meeting is we took some additional photographs along Meadowview, looking at the property from the east. And if you're interested, we could share those with you just to get a better sense of what is visible of the property as you travel down the curve of Meadowview. So here are a series of views, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Hey, Holly,
And
do you know?
if you go back to the site plan, you can see where those views are taken from. So that just gives you a little bit of context of looking across the adjacent property to our property. And particularly views 1, 2, and 3, you can see it's a heavily landscaped edge along the Meadowview Road.
Okay.
All right. So with that in mind, we just go to the main house. Here's the proposed previously approved landscape plan of the front of the property. And then the changes that we have made starting at the roof. The feedback was that our proposed shed dormers were a little too shallow in pitch and needed to occupy a little bit more of the existing gable roof. So we've increased each of those shed dormers from 4 and 12 to 6 and 12 on the left over the main entry gable, and 5 and 12 on the secondary gable to the right. We took out the skylights in the very shallow existing shed roof between the two gables. And the existing horizontal window that we are replacing, we replaced it with the same 3-light pattern that is currently present in the house now. Lastly, we decided to leave the existing chimney unchanged, so we're just going to paint the existing chimney white. The other thing that we changed is the large window into the addition on the far left. That's the new dining room. We've changed that window to a 2/2 window. And then we eliminated the horizontal railing to the new mudroom on the far right. And we were just proposing a simple shingled wall with wood cap. On the east-facing elevation, the change at the top, you can see the existing chimney that has been left as is, the increased slope of the new shed dormer, and then the new windows on the dining wing, we changed to 2/2. And the door coming out of the side of the house onto that, onto the outdoor common space to a 4-light French door. On the back, again, maybe working left to right, we left the existing chimney. We have eliminated the horizontal railing that could be seen from the front that leads to the bulkhead access to the basement. And then on the right-hand side, we changed all the windows in the dining room to a 2/2 pattern so that the interior of that room feels whole and integrated as an experience of one room. But then we've left the original windows that we had presented to you guys last time on the back. Finally, on the west elevation, the only changes really, I've already mentioned, the chimney remaining unchanged, the increased slope of the shed dormer, and the elimination of the horizontal railing leading down to the basement.
Okay, thank you. Okay, your board, again, is myself, Ray, Abby, Angus, and Joe. Who'd like to begin with concerns, if any?
I'd like to verify something
Abby?
on that, on the south elevation of, could we go to the south elevation? All that fenestration, that cannot be seen from the back, the road that goes behind, is that correct?
That is correct.
And that can be part of a motion.
Yeah, okay. Other than that, I had no concerns, other than the fenestration on the south.
Okay. Anyone with concerns in addition to Abby's?
Well, I think Abby's point is well taken, so yeah, I'd put that as part of the motion.
Yeah, definitely. So the motion, I believe, would be to approve as submitted, subject to the first floor south not being visible at time of inspection or thereafter. Is that a motion, Abby?
Yes, that's fine.
Okay, great. And you'll write it up as a
Or the-
condition restriction on the,
Sure.
okay. Yeah, we'll do a voice vote. Abby?
Aye.
Angus?
Aye.
Ray?
Aye.
Joe? Okay, so 4 in favor, and we're gonna move on to the guest house.
Thank you. Okay, on the guest house,
Trey, I'm just gonna ask politely to keep it a little shorter. We see the changes to the main house, we presume they track. And as I've said before, the HCC eats with its eyes, so as long as these are bubbled out, we can see the difference.
sure. Yeah, let's go straight to the elevations. So starting with the left elevation, which is the elevation to the north, you asked us to look at enlarging the windows at the first floor level, which we did. We increased the size of those windows, both on the elevation to the left and then the main entry elevation to the right. We also increased the slope of the 2 shed dormers and brought them down at the same time in order to eliminate the forehead between the top of the windows and the trim of the shed dormer. In order to accomplish all of that and make this work, the height of the structure increased by
6 inches.
6 inches. Thank you, Jillian. We eliminated the pilasters at the entrance that you couldn't see on the right-hand elevation, and we lowered the canopy over the door slightly so it feels a little bit more intimately integrated to the door itself. Then on the east-facing elevation, this got a lot of feedback regarding the form of the stair bump. So what we've done is we've lowered the gable on that to make it much more sort of deferential to the rest of the guest house. The shed dormer becomes slightly more dominant as it crosses from left to right. It's identical to the shed dormer on the other side. We've reduced the windows within the stair commensurately to reflect the reduction in the overall size of that form and that gable. And then we made some internal changes on the inside in order to accommodate some of the other things. And so we added 3 smaller windows into that bedroom so that the bed could fit underneath those windows.
Thanks, Trey. Okay, concerns?
My only concern is with the doorway canopy. I appreciate it dropping, but it's like with that transom, it's like a hat on top of a hat. It just feels awkwardly high. And I appreciate the revisions otherwise noted. Thank you.
Okay. 2 hats.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I agree with that.
I agree with that as well.
Definitely.
Trey, what are you gonna horse trade?
No
Well, we're happy to eliminate the transom and drop the roof a little further if that helps.
It sounds like you have a preference. Does anyone have a concern with that?
No, so the eave of that would just come down to the head casing of the door.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that would work easily.
We can work that up as an Exhibit A, Angus.
That would be my motion.
Excellent. Let's see, on your motion,
Aye.
Abby,
Aye.
Frank,
Right.
Joe?
Aye.
Thank you. And I'm an aye, so that carries unanimously. We are now on to Banks,
Thank you very much.
Gillian,
Thank you.
and try on to 8 Cato Lane.
Mr. Chair, Jerry Durr is joining, and so is Rich Craddock. Jerry, did you want a screen share?
Yes, if I could, that'd be great. Thank you.
That'd be helpful for us, thank you.
Do we have 50 people in the queue for the next two?
Can you see my screen?
Yes, we can, please.
Yeah, great. Okay. Jerry Durr, JWD Design. I'm here with Rich Craddock as well from Ridgevale. What you see is, per your request, the past couple of hearings, is the pairing of 8 and 10 Cato Lane viewed from the street, and also the site plans showing some information related to driveways and in site layout. 8 Cato Lane is on the left-hand side. It's in compliance with all the setbacks, the front yard, side yard, and rear. If we go to the elevations. Oops, sorry about that. The front elevation, all the trim on the building is going to be red cedar. We have white cedar shingles, Quaker gray windows, 6/6, black entry door. So all of this will weather naturally. It is, as you know, it's across from a cemetery to the west, and then we have the land bank to the east. So we feel that the house will weather naturally and be very much in keeping with the landscape, the surrounding landscape. On the front elevation, one of the concerns was the board and batten. We've changed that to the white cedar shingles on this front-facing gable. There's a concern for the number of dormers and having gable dormers in lieu of shed dormers. So through the past couple of hearings, what we've done is we've reduced the number of dormers on the front elevation. We've gone back to the shed dormers at those dormers. We also decreased the height from of this main gable on the left from 1212 to 1210. Just so the appearance of the structure, it's not as tall as it may have looked in the previous scheme. That's the street elevation. On the right side elevation, again, we've lowered the ridge. We've changed the dormers back to the shed dormers. And again, we've removed the board and batten on the rear gable end. We've lowered the 1212 back to a 1210. We went from the gable end dormers back to the shed dormers. And on the left side elevation, we had 4 dormers previously. We've reduced that to 2 dormers, where we were able to gang up 2 of the windows and create a double window dormer with a shed roof in lieu of the gable. So we've reduced the number of shed dormers, which was a primary concern, where there is no elevation with more than 2 shed dormers. So we feel we've responded to all of the concerns of the commission, and feel we have a collaborative effort and have arrived at a design that is has clean, simple lines, will weather naturally, and is in keeping with your previous comments.
Thanks,
Happy to
Jerry.
answer any questions.
Good timing.
Thank you.
Let's see. Again, the board is myself, Ray, Abby, Angus, and Connie. Not again. I never said it to begin with. Who'd like to begin?
I'm happy to start.
Angus, please.
So I appreciate the street elevation with both houses side by side. That's helpful. And also the site plan showing the houses in proximity to each other. And in the past, you've described the houses are not in line because of the angle of the street and the lots and so forth. But both houses are touching the front setback lines in the same way. So to me, that's, even though they might not be, in line with each other, as you draw a parallel line across, they are the same distance from the street. So between that and them almost 8 and 10 being almost identical in shape, proportion, fenestration, pretty much everything, that's an issue. So I would be pushing the structure back 10 to 20 feet to just have a little variation, and also to do something with the structures so that they are set apart in their presentation. I do appreciate the simplification and reduction of dormers. And so that's what I have. Thank you.
Thanks, Ray.
I think that the applicant has made the revisions that I was hoping to see, so I'm fine with this. Thank you.
Thanks, Abby.
I agree with what Angus said about the siting of these buildings, that it seems very dense for, I don't know how many buildings are going to be there, but it seems like 4 perhaps, and they are just almost identically placed on the site, so you get, that's a lot of house for a rural country road. On the architecture, it's not so much the architecture, it's the siting of these houses. I will say that I think the second floor windows ganged up seem large. It's sort of overwhelming the building, but it's the siting of the building on the street that's I'm questioning.
Okay, thank you. Connie?
Yeah, I have to agree with that. If this building could be pushed back, or I think that would be advantageous.
Okay.
Thank you.
Can we go to the site plan, please?
Sure.
And then the streetscape? Oh, there you go.
Mr. Chairman, could I respond to some of the comments?
Hold on a sec, Jerry, just
Sure.
for a minute. So my thoughts are, I would prefer, can we zoom out just a hair? I'd like to see the streetscape. Can 10 be, has construction started on 10?
No.
And marketing?
I'm sorry?
I'd like to know can 10 be reversed left to right? Both with respect to parking and with respect to just literally a mirror image, left to right.
Yeah, I would really need to check with our team. In doing that, it does decrease the backyard, and we're
Correct.
It actually, Jerry, makes it more usable because you are putting the deeper portion of 10, which is the left protruding gable to the rear.
Yeah, we could look into that.
Deeper section of the lot.
Yeah.
And it, for me, with respect to the streetscape, it materially changes the presentation. And I think in a beneficial way, as opposed to copycat, it's bookends. And the only concern I would have about the depth, the distance from the street is that just an annotation that if parking is going to be in the front, it's going to have to move back an additional 10 feet. That was a discussion element we had at the last meeting on this. I would just want that to be clear for everyone's planning purposes. Yeah, that's my only concern. It sounds like the depth from the street is you've got a consensus view on that with at least 3 individuals. Mine is with respect to there's parking on the front. And I definitely, you know, you don't have to look at it, but I would appreciate it if you took a look at mirror imaging that. I think.
Sure.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Just a general question. What is the build out of this development? Is it 4 or 6? How many houses are?
There are just these 2.
Just these 2? So the two that are further down Cato Lane are different from this
Yes.
development? Okay, thank you.
All right, Jerry, did you want to comment? The board's kind of made it, but you're.
No, I understand. I just wanted to, you know, the staggering, if we were to move 8 Cato Lane back, it would just it would be a step towards making them even more similar because we don't have that articulation from the street, so to speak. Like if we were to move 8 Cato Lane back and have it align, you know, let's say it was 10 feet, it may align almost perfectly with 10 Cato Lane, which would be, I think, a step in the direction of more similarity, if you will. In this layout that we have here, you kind of have that undulation of the front elevation from a street perspective and also from an experience driving down Cato Lane.
Jerry, I'm just going to make a suggestion. I don't know that it's going to have support from the board, but I'd suggest that you look at moving them both back 5 feet. You're going to accomplish what you want with respect to the presentation. You're going to not have them be more similar by having them coplanar, and at the same time, you're not moving one back 10 feet and then having the other one 10 feet forward. You're losing 5 feet in your rear yard, 5 feet of patio space, 2.5 feet of patio space, 2.5 feet of pool, you know, and be done with it. That's my suggestion. Bring it back as a presentation element. I see Connie shaking her head.
I like that.
Could I make one more comment?
Yeah.
Just to reinforce your suggestion that if 10 is a mirror image, then that's actually going to appear set back. And that would actually, you know, help instead of trying to push 8 back, since 10's already been approved. If 10 were to flip, then it will appear set back. The main thing is just having difference, impression of the distance from the street. So I agree that I think that would really help.
Okay, Jerry, you've got some information to work with, and
Yes.
We're going to make a motion to hold for revisions.
So moved.
Thank you. Let's see, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we're going to move quickly on to 12 Angola Street.
Okay, thank you.
Good timing. He should get here quickly while we have.
He doesn't do 12 Angola, so.
I've been
So I don't know
following
if
12,
anybody-
but I'm not on it, so.
Okay, so we have Ray, myself, Abby, Connie. That's your 4-person board.
Okay,
Your next board is a 3-person board, which is myself, Ray, and Abby.
I think we're gonna go forward with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm happy to proceed with it. It's up to you.
I
Okay,
want it out
let's
of my
begin.
life.
What'd you say, Katie?
I said I want it out of my life.
Yeah, well, this is your opportunity.
I'm gonna go drinking after this.
Oh.
So did everybody get a chance to review the engineer plans and then the letter of support?
Go right to your presentation.
Okay, so the wall, we went down to one wall. There's about, I believe it's 30 inches exposed. And then it's quite a slope up a little ways, and then it slopes down to about a 3-to-1. And an engineer, I mean, I'm not an engineer, so I don't completely understand what he did, but that's all explained in the attachment. Other than that, I made the changes to the sections of fence between the secondary dwelling and the house, and then 12 Angola and 8 North Mill to the type 2 painted white to match what you approved between Robert's garage and house. And then I added the, I don't know what you call it, it's not a split rail fence, but the same fence that's around the Garden of the Sea.
But board fence, I think it's called.
It's like, yeah, it's just like 2 planks and then.
Like it's a paddock style fence.
Yeah, so there's a picture attached. There it is. And that runs all the way from George's driveway with a gap at his steps to his front door, and then all the way around up to Robert's driveway.
Okay. Anything else?
I believe those were the only changes. All the plant material that is around, oh, well, that's Robert's house, so apologize, never mind.
Yeah, hold
Nope,
that. Okay.
that's it.
Any questions for Katie? Mickey, you guys got anything?
Yes, so I guess this is a question for Katie. Is the wall going to be faced with stone, or is it just going to be exposed concrete?
Well, the original plans called for a dry stack on top of the poured concrete. I believe the engineered plans are just poured concrete, and they'd like to parge the front since it's not going to be visible, and I'll plant like vines over it. But if you'd prefer like a sawn stone veneer, we can do that.
Thank you. So I think the stone would be nice. I'm not sure how visible it is. That's something I can't tell. So that's, but you know, the changes from 2 to 1 walls, it's great. We're very happy with that. The plank fence just seems a little informal for these houses. It's not really a fence you'd see normally around a house. It works for for the open space across the street, but we felt that the more like a type 2 fence would be more appropriate for these 2 houses. And that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
The fence that I
Hold on,
added
hold
was
on,
the
hold
one
on,
you
hold
guys
on.
suggested.
Okay. We're gonna go first and then, who concerns anyone?
I could start. Do you want me to start?
Yeah.
Okay. I appreciate the one wall. I'd rather see it just in dry stack, whatever that's called. Is that what it's called when you don't?
Yeah, but I think that the way that it is now engineered calls for poured concrete, but we can do a sawn veneer, which is like it's not like a flat veneer, it's rounded.
Yeah,
and
I've
it's
seen
more
it.
space between, so it looks very natural.
Yeah. Okay. What did you say? Something was painted white?
Well, the fences between the secondary dwelling and the house, going back to the patio, and then there's fence that goes between 12 Angola and Robert's house, that was originally a board fence, but you guys asked me to eliminate the board fence and do the type 2, so it's painted white to match what was approved at Robert's house between his garage and his house.
Okay. Okay. I didn't hear what was attached to that white paint. Yeah. So I do appreciate the 130-inch wall. I think it should be as natural as possible, rock. And other than that, the fence, it's a pretty big element of this design. if it were a little more rural over there, and now it's kind of built up, if it was a little more rural, I think that would be an appropriate fence. But now it's almost acting like it's part of the, the neighboring buildings, the federal-style buildings. So I'd like to hear what other people have to say about that.
I'm sorry, are we talking about the one along the street or?
Along the street, yeah. Thank you.
The chair has pointed out that I'm actually the chair. So, I mean, the temporary chair on this one. So, actually, I'd like to hear from Connie or Stephen on this.
Connie, go ahead.
I hate this thing. I'm sorry.
Do you need reload time? You want me to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's having trouble. This
Yeah.
one's definitely having trouble.
Might be a
That
big,
laser.
Are you ready? Steve?
Yeah, I'm ready to go.
Okay.
So, I don't disagree about the style of the fence. I actually like to hold in view for the fence. I'd like to look at the area. I think it's gonna be an important element, the street side fence. Anything in the back, I'm not concerned about. I hate to disagree with the members. I don't need to do it to be adversarial at all, but I think this concept of one wall is so, it's so contrary to how this would historically been built. If there was a carve out in the land, it would either be sloped naturally and like grass, because it wouldn't have this level of refinement on the lot, but that's not where we are. And it would be at least a two-tier step, because that's what's manageable, that's what can be maintained, and it's what the materials would be. All that having been said for nothing, because I don't think hardly any of this is going to be visible. So I think we're spending a lot of time on a topic that is beyond our purview, and unfortunately so. Because if it was in our purview, I would want two walls, stone-faced, to look traditional, like I see up and down Orange Street, on the back, up and down Union on the back, the downside of Orange Street. But those are my comments, and again, not to be adversarial, it's just, I think the bounds that we've taken on this have really kind of expanded beyond where they need to be. Those are my comments. Thanks, Mr. Chair.
Stephen, thank you. How are you doing over there?
Yeah, but I looked at it and I read the letter and I'm actually okay with this.
Hey, guys, Connie has the floor. Sorry.
But I would like to do a view of the fence. I know that's what we asked for. But listening to some of the other comments, I think, maybe that would be okay, but I do appreciate all the changes and all the hard work you put into it.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Connie. So a few things. One, appreciate the changes. Two, when we're talking about a stone veneer, there's veneers and there's veneers. Like a 4-inch shelf is probably what you're hopefully talking about as a veneer here.
The sawn stone, which is.
Okay, so when they pour the concrete, they create a shelf. And if the shelf is 4 inches deep, that allows you enough stone so that you actually get it, it looks like it's not just stuck on.
Right, and there's like no concrete between, so it looks like it's dry laid.
It looks dry laid.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you're sort of relying on what sounds like a 4-inch shelf
Yes, we would,
for your
yeah.
veneer. Okay, so even though, there's a lot of concrete walls around that I really like, I think the safer option here is to do stone, although I do respect what Stephen said about lack of visibility. Okay, so I vote stone on this. And then the other thing, and again, I've heard various opinions on the fencing. And with all due respect to Mickey and his group, I feel like there's been this sort of precedent set in that particular neighborhood for this kind of, horse-like, the horse run and what's happening on Garden by the Sea. I actually find that the fence that you're proposing, despite the architecture behind it, I would see that as a unifying element, something that sort of like says, I'm part of this neighborhood. And that, from that perspective, I really like the fence as you've shown it. So I think those are the important things, but first and foremost, thank you for the revisions. What do we want to do with this application, folks?
Sorry, what did you say about the fence? What was your
Well, I
opinion
just
on the
like,
fence?
I like the fact that this is an element, landscape element, that is tying this building, this piece of property back to that immediate area.
And is
You know,
is
the
that
pony
natural to
field,
weather?
garden by the sea,
What color's the fence?
white, I think.
No, it would be natural to weather to match the Garden of the Sea.
Yeah.
That's
Well, that's
actually,
right, garden of the sea is.
that's actually a picture you guys sent me, somebody on the board, I can't remember, sent me.
All right.
Motion to approve is submitted.
Oh, okay. Hey.
Take it quick.
All right, if you had said that about, what, Robert, 9 months ago? Anyway,
No, I think it was worth, I think it was worth the toil and.
okay, here we are. I'm going to take a voice vote on this. All those in favor of Stephen's motion, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Oh, Stephen is opposed. So Stephen's opposed to his motion?
I can see the consensus, but I just.
Yeah, I know, you're fundamentally like,
fence
if
and-
it's not visible, and the single fence
It's a
thing. Okay,
preference.
but guess what? You're approved.
You got approved.
Okay, so there's that. And did, Katie, did you want to move forward with the other one with the
Yes.
three-person board?
I think that's fine, I mean, it carries from 12 Angola, so it's, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The only changes to this one were, again, that fence along the street. I added the tree back onto the corner that I was mistaken about. I thought you guys wanted removed before, so I put the tree back on the corner of Angola and North Mill. I made sure all of the foundation plantings there are evergreen. So they are boxwoods, andromedas. I believe I put in a few leucothoe, which is a dog hobble. They're deer-proof, they're evergreen, and you can kind of just let them go. So everything pretty much around the house is evergreen. And then the only other thing is the continuation of the wall revision. And the fence between the two houses.
Okay. Katie, thank you. Let's see, Mickey.
So similar concern about the fence, but it's already been approved next door, so no concerns.
Okay, thanks, Mickey. Board members,
Can we ask questions first?
of course you can.
So Katie, the board fence or the paddock fence, does that go, as it goes up in North Mill, where does it stop?
It stops a little bit before the driveway, just for continuity. So do you see where the red bubble is that going all the way along up North Mill
Yeah.
to the driveway? That's the
Can you
fence.
point that out? Our things aren't working.
It could stop at the corner board of the house so that it's the section between the garage and the house is open to the road, you know what I mean?
Here?
Yeah, it could stop there and not go all the way to the driveway.
Okay.
How about a return towards the house?
This is the fence that they requested to match the Garden of the Sea. I went along.
Katie,
One going up Mill.
what about a return to go towards the house to make that make sense?
Like on the corner of the house or return along the driveway?
A return, well, I think I would actually be fine with either. But I think a return would be beneficial, most beneficial, if it stops at the corner of the house.
Okay, then we would need to add a gate. Which
At the-
I'm not real sure how to add a gate into that style of fence.
Hang on. Okay, Abby, sorry, I let things go off, but Abby did ask a question about the extent of the fence.
All right, so, so my worry is that as we go up the hill, what is that paddock fence going to look like going up a hill, 2 lines of wood? I think, I don't mind it making the corner and continuing, but I'm not sure how far it should go up the hill. Whether it stops at the front door or whether it goes all the way to the driveway, I'm not sure. I think it might be something I might want to take a look at before I decide what it will look like.
Yeah, I'm sorry to interrupt. Can we scroll down to the grade plan? Isn't that fairly level across the front now?
Yeah, it's not
It's changed,
going up North Mill.
just so you know, it's changed. It's pretty flat left to right.
So there's no great change
Yeah, it's
going up towards the
minimal,
driveway?
Isn't it? Like, isn't from the left side to the right side, like maybe a total of 4 or 5 inches across the length?
Yeah, I don't, because the house brought the grade up a little
Yeah.
bit there, and then it,
Yeah, here,
And all
this,
the retainage is back behind the garage.
the fence, there's, the picture of the fence is also included in this.
I would share Abby's concern if my recollection is incorrect. How's that?
Well, okay, fine. Now, there was sort of this early proposal to not take it all the way up to here, but to come up and
Yeah.
return here.
Yeah.
In which case, do you actually need a gate? You don't, do you? If you return it there?
If you return it, I mean, you have the path from the driveway to the front door.
Oh,
So,
Right.
I mean,
I feel like personally, it would look a little awkward, especially since you got the natural to weather, and then you're gonna be marrying it into the white corner board, and then you've got the white type 2 between the garage and the house.
valid points, Katie. What do we think?
I'm not a fan of the fence, so,
Oh, just like,
yeah.
just
Especially with this.
86 it?
I would think.
I mean, can we can just do I mean, I only put the fence in because it was a request of the board, but we could just wrap it around the corner a little bit and then end it and maybe do a little vegetation to soften the ending.
And you're talking about on the left side of the house.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like this is close enough to North Mill that there's enough going on there. And it's new, big, formal, like, put it on the side, end it with a turn, so it doesn't look odd, there's like a fence end.
Yeah, maybe we go like 8 to 10
Something
feet,
that makes
depending on
sense,
the,
yeah.
yeah. And then I just do sort of a shrub or something on
Something
the
to
end, so
tie
it
it
doesn't
in,
look like it just
yeah.
dies.
Yeah. You know, make a nice little whale shape out of the shrub or something, I don't know. Little kitschy. Okay, so, I don't know, that would be beneficial.
I think
And Abby,
Robert's in
how are you
favor of that
feeling?
as well.
What do you think, Abby? For stopping that fence from going across the front?
I personally would want to stand in front of the building and make a decision then, but I
I
don't
got
wanna-
an idea.
Okay.
All right, why don't we just, the important part of this thing is not the fence. It's, I think we all are aware that it's the wall. Why don't we just leave the fence off for now, approve it without the fence? And then, as the thing develops,
Can I second that non-motion
yeah.
for discussion?
Of
So
course.
my concern is that well, I think that's a good idea.
I was never quite a fan of the idea to begin with.
I think it's a good idea. I think there's gonna be, I think there's some grade stuff that's gonna shake out there on Angola we need to look at.
I got a
So
feeling.
we'll look at it and see.
feel like we
but
kinda have to
would've
let it
preferred
play
wrap
out.
this up with a bow today, but
Yeah.
Well, we can wrap a smaller package up with a bow.
yeah.
We have that much bow. So, you guys are interested in just approving approving it without the fence? Would that be fair?
I'm not going to make that motion, but
Okay.
There's nothing, the visibility is limited to the wall, to between the two structures from Angola. correct?
Correct, yes.
I mean, I know that, I've seen it, I've walked
And there
it.
is vegetation in front of that fence, and then you have the viburnum.
So
edge
I'll
going
make
to
a
it.
motion to approve as submitted without the fence along Angola and North Mill without prejudice with respect to the fence.
So including George's property as well, the whole thing.
Well, that's why I was concerned. We voted in on one, but not on this one, but I think, do we want to have a
Next door neighbor.
tiny bit of
The one
discussion
we
on
just
that?
looked at.
Do we want to extend the one that we just approved to come up to North Mill and terminate? Because I think it's gonna look odd. The concept is to unify the,
All right, well,
you know what I mean?
Yes, I do, and I'm personally okay with that. Okay, listen, so Abby, we approved fencing along the other application, the one
right.
right before this, right?
Right.
Stephen's point, maybe Katie's point, I forget, but, so the fence, instead of just ending, let's run it to the corner,
Yeah.
stop there.
Okay.
a little return, just so it
A
doesn't
little return, okay, but not the whole length, and then, you know,
revisit.
at,
Yeah, you're gonna vote on that now.
Yeah,
right?
so
we're
the
gonna
mo-
vote on that now.
so the motion would be to eliminate any fence across the width of the front of the house to the garage.
Okay.
Meaning the,
North Mill.
North
North
Mill.
Mill.
Correct.
Okay, so it
And
just has a-
that would be the motion.
It's got a
Okay,
tree there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
All
so
right.
kind of just wrap around the tree and then.
okay, so all those in favor of Stephen's motion, say aye. Aye.
I'm an aye.
Are you gonna object?
No.
Are you go?
I really just, the fence really bugs the crap out of me. And that wall too.
Okay. Well, but
I can
you
ma-
still got, hey, look, you got it.
So
I
the
just,
fence
I
will
just,
stay?
the
It'll-
fence is
Nothing.
not something I think is, yeah, and I'm not, it's just on a principle thing. No, it's just that fence.
Yeah.
In that location. It's probably gonna look really great. I can't visualize things in my head, he can, so it's gonna be
Yeah, no,
awesome,
I-
I'm sure.
That's his landscape background.
Okay,
Well, there it is.
there it is. I'll write it up.
Ding,
There it
done.
goes, like a little fizzle at the end.
Okay,
Like I can retire.
It's like opening up that can of seltzer and there's no.
yeah.
All right, minutes of September 9th. Motion to approve. We have food here from Fisaro's. We're gonna have a little treat afterwards.
you're
No, I just
kidding.
saw
No,
the
you're
text.
kidding me.
No, I swear to God.
Oh, wow.
I wasn't gonna break.
Well, somebody's got to take it.
Fisaro's.
Robert, have you had dinner tonight?
You're sweet. I have a church deacon meeting that I have to.
All right.
Oh, boy. Well, we got some food we need to get rid
That's
of.
really
Well,
nice.
let's see what it is.
It's going to be pizza.
September 9th,
All right,
motion
September
for
9th.
minutes.
Night. Yeah, I'll make that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
No members here. I'm a no, none haven't read it. Next meeting is October 7th, 2025. Kathy, can we add to the agenda at the end a discussion on, how do I want to say this succinctly? Discussion on presentation of applications limited to prior approved or existing, prior submitted, and currently proposed. That's what the discussion will be.
In here.
Yeah. And just so you guys are aware, like, I think and we can't really discuss it now, but I'm sitting here and there's so much discussion that goes on with the presentation that we really could just, if we had a complete set of drawings, as those items were applicable, and what was proposed, any changes is bubbled, we would be way more efficient and just as effective, because all the presentation discussion and I know a building inspector, when he goes to do building inspections, if there's somebody who wants to meet him there and explain something, it always means that it's something that doesn't quite fit.
Suspicious.
Yeah, so like, I think it would be beneficial to the process and help establishing procedural guidelines for people that and I'm not saying we do this cold turkey, because I think there'll be some, well, we'll talk about it when we talk about it. I just wanted to introduce the idea because it'd be nice to not be here an extra hour a night if we don't have to be. And there's no change in the work product as a result of that hour. It just seems to me to be terribly
Yeah, but if
inefficient.
that happened tonight, we'd be adjourning at 4:30.
Yeah.
It's too early.
Yeah, we would have been home and practicing archery for deer season and, okay.
All right.
Okay, and you need to sign, please, because there's only 3 of us. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I move to
Oh, yeah, I'm gonna
adjourn.
go eat something. I almost got hit coming here.
By a deer?
I go the opposite direction on the road on my bicycle so I can see people text, whether they're texting or not. And this lady comes barreling down the road texting, and she literally slowed down for the speed bump and brushed my